Welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be having a look at Fetch.AI. This is going to be a lower time frame video. We do have our higher time frame video up above, so check it out if you haven't already. Let's get into the charts and see what's going on. So we're going to discuss some of the higher time frame things here quickly before we jump into the micro accounts. Now, what we were looking for here is two ideas on these higher time frame. Basically, we were saying that from further back here, we could have this just as a corrective move where we have this as W, this is A, B, and C for an X wave. And what we are looking for is the potential of having a Y wave to the upside. Now, the idea of a Y wave here, what we'd be looking for would be a three-wave move to the upside, 1-to-1 being up here at this 644. And then we'd need to see this low hold here and effectively just be looking for a three-wave structure to the upside, looking to push up in this way. Now, we could also argue that internally here we had this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, in which case what we'd be saying is that we could have this as an ABC pattern into this low, this potentially as a flat. Now, the reason why I don't like this as a flat, what makes it less probable, is because of how high it came. It is still possible to see a move up towards this 3618 to this 4618 with a flat, but what we would need to see then is that price would actually have to come back down here and sweep these lows, and we'd actually be looking for continuation down here, actually looking for the C wave to the downside, where we could still see a move down towards this 3 cent at this 1-to-1 level. Now, it doesn't mean that we have to see this break down in one false swoop here. We could see something like a bigger 1-2 here, and then we'd see 3, 4, 5. It could also become a diagonal that we need to be careful of. As well as that, because it is a B wave, it could also become W, X, and Y. So it is possible we could start to see a three-wave move down here, and it's not a C wave, and it's actually a Y wave. So the idea here would be that we could still be looking to come back down and revisit this zone here of this 0219 to this 0515 region, looking to bring us back into this lower target box before seeing this continuation to the upside in the C wave. Now, within this idea here, effectively what we'd be looking for on the smaller time frames is that we could actually be looking to rally to the upside in a bigger way here, where what we're saying is that we have this as A, we're looking for a B and a C wave up. Now, within this idea, we're going to come in here a little bit closer and we're going to discuss this. Now, within this idea, what we'd be saying is that internally here, we had this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 as an extension in the fifth wave. And the move to the downside here effectively is a bigger corrective pattern here, where this move is A, this is B, this is our C wave to the downside. Now, this move in between here, we have moved up towards this 0.382, so I'm being cautious that we could have something like a flat correction here. If we do look to push up a little bit higher, we'll be watching this 0.5 to this 0.382, because if this is a flat, this is a very common target area for the C wave here, where we would be looking for this 3240 to this 2792 as a potential target. But we have also come quite high here already. If we do see price looking to push up here as a flat, what we would then expect is a break of this low and to see a sell-off to the downside. Now, within this idea, if this is a B wave high, currently where we are, our 1-to-1 would be here at this 0981. So we need to start being careful here that we could still continue to see this looking to sell off here in a C wave, in which case what we'd be looking for is coming back into this yellow target box area here, which we've already hit this 0.5 here at this 1783. What I would be looking for is the possibility of actually testing out some of these lower levels. We can see this 1-to-1 would be down here past the 702, which would make it quite likely then that we're going to see an interaction with the 786. But higher up here, we do also have an interesting zone around this 1334 and this 1234 region, because this does have these highs over here and this previous low. So we'll be keeping an eye on that as a possible support resistance flip if we do see price looking to break down into that level. Now, within this, what we'd then be saying is that price is going to start to break down from this B wave high, and then we're going to look to actually push down in a more aggressive way here. Now, it is possible that this C wave in this idea of having this B wave to the upside is still incomplete. Now, if we are looking at this as a B, and a C, what we would then be saying here is that effectively the target area that we are looking for here is actually more around this zone here of the 30 cent 52. This would be a very common target area for a flat correction between this 1236 and this 1618. Now, we have already hit this 1618 level. Now, we have already hit this 13 Now we have already hit this 1236 level. What I'd be looking out for here is if we continue to hold these previous fourth waves here, we could still continue to see some price action pushing to the upside, where we see these higher levels get hit. Now within this idea here, I'm looking at this as a 3-wave move, but within the idea of this being a flat correction, what we would be saying is that internally here we could have this as 1, 2. This becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now it is also possible to say 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then we could just get one more fourth and a fifth. So it's going to be crucial here if we do get a push up towards this 29.58 to this 28.19, whether we actually then start to sell off from that point, or whether we actually get an additional push up here and then another 3-wave move and then another 5-wave structure up. Now the 1.618 of this wave 1 over here is actually sitting up here at this 30 cent 80. Now we don't always have to hit this in order to have a 5-wave structure, but it is the most common target. This is why I'm thinking it is possible that internally here we could have this as 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're still looking for a fourth and a fifth here, and then we could still look for this continuation up. If this blue fifth wave pushes past this 30.80, I will be looking for support to come in around this 23.89, which would be aligning with some of these highs over here. So I'll be keeping an eye on that level. We do have 25.36 as another target slightly lower down, but we can also see a very shallow retracement towards this 27.30. So the idea here would be, as long as we continue to hold this level of this 21.70, which would be the top of this wave 1 here, we can potentially see this looking to actually progress to the upside in a 5-wave structure. And it'll be key what happens after this. If we do form something like this, what we need to see is how we react. If we get 3 waves back to the downside after this move, it is possible that we could see some extension to the upside. If we do actually play out in this 5-wave structure here, and we then start to break down in 5-wave structure, this would actually indicate that we're going to see that continuation to the downside, where we are looking for this white C wave here to play out. So we need to be just respectful of that bearish count here, where we could still see continuation to the downside. Now, if we are looking at this move slightly different, and we don't want to say that this is in a corrective move where this is A, B, and C over here, what we could argue is that we have this is 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into this point here, in which case we could still be looking for a 5th wave to the downside. Now, within this idea, what we'd be saying is that this is 1, 2, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This is our 4th wave again here, and we're looking for this 5th wave down. Now, the zone that we typically don't want to cross for wave 4 is this 28.81. This is lining quite nicely with this high over here. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on this, the previous 4th wave high here. If we do see price looking to push up one more time, I'm going to be keeping an eye on this area as a possible interaction before seeing this 5th wave to the downside. Invalidation of this idea comes by crossing this 36.43, which would be this wave 1 low that we've got over here. So if we do see this as 1, 2, all of this becomes 3, 4, and then we look for this 5th wave down. Currently our target area is going to be at this 15.44 to this 12.93. Now the problem is that if we have a 5-wave move of this high here, it becomes more likely that we're going to see continuation to the downside afterwards, because when we have a 5-wave move, we need to see this occur with another 5-wave move, particularly if it is in the beginning of the structure. We want to see a secondary 5-wave structure developing. So that's what we need to be on the lookout for here, is that if we do form this additional 4th and 5th, potentially we could then look for a 3-wave move up and then that continuation down. Now, alternatively here, if we fail to develop this, it is possible that we could be looking for a break from this point. The likelihood is a lot less that we are looking for that, but within our bullish count here, effectively what we are saying is that we're looking at this as an A wave, and now we're looking for this B wave down. This B wave has already come into this 50% level, so I am just watching for the possibility that inside this move we could be looking to break out in a bigger way. And what we'd want to see if that is the case is, if I come in here more locally, what we would be looking for effectively here would be either that we're going to get something like this, where we get this as a bigger 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We get an additional 4th and a 5th, and we actually look to push up slightly higher here towards this 34.75. Or alternatively, we could even see something along these lines where we're actually starting to extend out here, where what we would say is that this is 1, 2. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. up into these highs, and we could actually be forming this blue wave too. Invalidation of this comes by crossing this 1855 level, which would be this low. Now what this would be saying is that we have this as 1-2, we'd get another 1-2 here, and then we'd actually be looking for a much stronger rally to the upside, which case we'd be looking for this 40-cent 37 as our 1618. So this is why it's going to be crucial here that if we do continue to hold above this 20-cent 16, there is possibility we could just see 3 waves down and then look for this reaction back to the upside. Now, like I said, you know, we've already moving into these highs here. What I'd be looking out for is if we do move down towards this 50% level, it would be looking to back test some of these lower levels. Also lower down here towards this golden pocket, would be looking to back test this structure that we've got over here. So I'll be keeping an eye on this 2152 to this 2125 as possible zones if we do see some kind of a push to the downside here. Now this would actually say that we're extending out here, where we have this as 1, 2, this would become 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then we get another 4th and a 5th, and then from that point the likelihood is that as a flat correction this would have been a very big C wave. So if we do see a bigger 5-wave structure like this, it could actually indicate that what we are seeing here on the bigger picture is that this move is already looking to progress up, and this B wave is actually over here, and we are looking for this C wave to the upside. So I'm going to be watching this to see exactly how we react here. If the waves start to give us, you know, more impulsive structure to the upside, this could align more with that idea of breaking out in that bigger C wave to the upside. Now it is also possible that, like I said earlier, this could just be corrective, where this is ABC for a W. We have this as another 3-wave move for an X wave, and then we just have this as A, B, and C because we don't have the additional wave here for this 5th. And then, you know, if we're looking at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, either way, we'd still be looking for one more push to the upside. We have come up here towards the 1.236 of this A wave, and we have also hit the 1.336 of the W wave here. So because we've hit those two zones already, I'm just also being mindful that this move could look for a reversal to the downside. We don't really have too much to go off of currently. This move down is looking very corrective the way that it's moving. So it is possible that this could just be a bigger corrective structure where we get this as A, B, or W, X, A, B, and C, and then we look for that continuation up until we actually see these lows getting broken. We could still look for that possibility of that bigger push to the upside here. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on that bullish structure, keeping an eye on these bullish support zones as 2355 in this case, and then in this case lower down here until we cross this 2016. We do have possibility of extension to the upside here. Even within the corrective structure here, there is still possibility that we could see a bigger move develop, where what we say here is that, you know, this whole structure here becomes an A wave. We could still see like a 3-wave move down here, either into this green target box area. You have this 1899 to this 2163, and then see another push to the upside. Alternatively, if we're going to see something more complex here, we could get something like this as an A wave. We see a bigger A, B, and a C pattern where we potentially look to sweep this low, push down into this 1722 to this 1446 level, and then see a push to the upside. So even if we do start to break down here, I'm not just going to think that, you know, we're directly moving down in that C wave. We need to always be aware that these moves can start to get more complex, and these are going to be some support zones lower down here that I'm going to be watching if we are looking at this as a completed move here and we're looking for that push to the downside. Coming down here into the daily CPR lines, what we can see is that we are currently underneath our central line here, which is sitting at this 2494. Now this is very tightly spread, so this is indicating volatility. We haven't managed to move up to our R1 line, which is sitting at this at 2575 level. If we do see price looking to push back up here and we manage to push back above 2493, targets to the upside would be 2576, 2660, 2746, and this 2829 as possible upside targets for today. Now if we are looking at the potential for downside targets, We do have this one sitting here, which is at this 24.06, which is also sitting around the previous day's low. If we see a sweep of this level and a reclaim, it is possible we could start to see some upside price action coming in. Alternatively, if we start to lose this zone, other targets for today would be this 23.23. We have 22.37, 21.54 as possible downside targets for today. Now, moving over here and having a look at the weekly CPR lines, we can see that we have actually printed higher CPR lines here. We've seen price move up above these levels, and now we are moving back into these. Now we are still currently in the zone of this where we do have the possibility to find support a little bit lower down here at this 23.76 if we are looking to maintain these central lines. We do also have this level here of this 24.49, which I'm going to be keeping an eye on to see whether we actually see price manage to get back up above this level. Possible resistance can be above us here at this 25.21. If we do continue to hold these central lines, we do always have the possibility that we could see price looking to move to the upside. 28.77, 31.64 and 35.90 are possible targets to the upside. If we do look to break to the downside here, what I would be looking out for is the possibility of a test of this 21.63, 17.35 and this 14.47. If we start to lose some of these higher levels here, it is possible we could see price looking to break back down towards this S1 line. Now, I wouldn't want to see us lose this S1 line if we're looking for this continuation to the upside, because if we start to lose this level, it starts to become less likely that we're going to see that continuation to the upside. Now, moving over here and having a look at the monthly CPR lines, we can see that actually we printed a lower CPR here, only slightly, but we did move down into this, find support, and we've moved up and hit this R1 target. Now, if we do look to actually see price fall off here, I will be keeping an eye on 22.22, 21.60 and this 20.80 as possible support where we could find support lower down here on these lines. If, however, we start to see price looking to continue to the upside, other targets for this month is this 31.20, 36.74 as possible upside targets for this month. If we do start to see price looking to falter and we lose these central lines, there is still potential to find support above this low at this 17.50 level. If we lose that, we do have targets down here of this 11.97 and this 0.779 as possible downside targets for this. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. Leave us some feedback down below, and also in the description you will find a link to the Discord. Come check it out, it's free to join. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.